You know, there's always got to be something. Whenever I do one of these test ride videos, I've got 2 cameras I've got to coordinate and 2 recording devices. One to record voice from my helmet and the other to record voice from the motorcycle. And then I've got to sync it all up in post when I get back. And there's always something. And you do everything you can to try and make sure everything goes smoothly, but getting back and looking at the footage on the Himalayan 450 test ride, I see that the microphone cable has come down from my helmet and come loose and is now hanging in front of the lens of the GoPro. So I've got 2 options. I can go back and reshoot the whole thing, which takes away that initial reaction to the bike and what I initially thought as I was riding it, or just post as it is and capture all the essence of that first test ride. And I've decided I'm just going to upload it as it is, capture all the essence of the first test ride of the Himalayan 450, and then overlay footage of the bike, B-roll footage, and so that the cable doesn't become too annoying for you guys to look at. So my apologies. There's always something, and it's got me again. But anyway, here's the video. Here's the test ride of the Himalayan 450. Hopefully the cable doesn't annoy you too much. Alright, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the Royal Enfield Ballarat dealer, which is also the Indian motorcycle Ballarat dealer. And today we're test riding the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Now, straight out of the bat, it's a very attractive looking motorcycle, and I think the weight's around 183 kilos, but I'll put all the specs and things up on the screen as I'm going. But the initial impression when I just wheeled the bike out of the back there, and it feels heavier than it actually is, and I believe it's because the engine and everything is tucked right up high, and so your centre of mass or centre of gravity it's higher, and when you pick it up off the stand, and with the stand it's a short stand, comparatively short stand, and you can see there the bike's the ground slopes away, and even with this slope it still leans over a fair way, and I think that also adds to the feeling of picking the bike up off the stand. It does feel heavier than the claimed weight, so that was really interesting. And I can see how people might get a little put off by that. They've ordered a bike which is reportedly pretty light for its size, and it feels heavier to pick up off the stand than they thought it would. And I just believe it's because it carries its weight higher. Let's switch it to run. I assume that's run there. I like the display. That TFT looks really nice. Oh, there we go. That's how we start it. Wonder what that is. Modes, probably. Instantly, the riding position feels pretty comfortable for my height. I'm 6'1" for my body proportions. You can see we've got Showa suspension on the front here. Whoops. That clutch bites pretty quickly. Yeah, geez. Just let it out a little bit and she grabs. Alright. It's been a little while since I've ridden an adventure bike. It feels tall. I think it's because I'm coming from a cruiser. Let's close that. And I've got to be careful not to draw comparisons to. Oops, hit the horn. Comparisons to the Chief, because torque-wise, I'm noticing a significant deficit compared to the Chief. It's amazing how you get used to a certain feel from a bike. It does feel like you need to give it a bit of rest to get it going. Be interesting to see how effective this little screen here is too. These little fly screens, as I like to call them, they're also typically known as, are basically just to keep some wind off your torso. They're not designed to give you full wind protection, but just to make your life a little bit easier. Mirrors. Yeah, mirrors are good. Getting good view there. I'm seeing my shoulder in this one more so than that one, which is interesting. Not sure how much you're going to get to hear from the engine note because it doesn't have much of an exhaust system on it. Well, it's just got the stock system. Okay, so whoops, just realised my indicator's on. No auto cancelling indicators. It's a bit windy today, so I'm hoping you're not going to get too much wind on this microphone. Yeah, agility, it's definitely, once you're rolling, and I can really feel the lightweight now once I'm moving, but just when you pick it up off the stand, it does feel heavier than you're expecting, if you like. Now, is it a deal breaker? No, not at all. It's just the I think the fact that it carries its weight higher and it has a shorter stand. I think if you lengthen that stand, it certainly would feel a lot lighter to pick up off the stand than the length it is currently. Gearbox is really nice and light and slick. Any more grunt? Now there's a bit of a buzz coming through the pegs right around here where we have 4,700, 5,000. I'm getting a really strong buzz through the pegs. So we'll see what happens when we get on the highway, whether that's going to settle down. I'm really curious to see if this bike, for people who've followed my channel for a while know I had an NC750X, which I really enjoyed taking on gravel roads and just touring around the countryside on. And I am wondering if a bike like this Himalayan 450 could replace that NC750X. And the sort of duties it would have to do would be gravel roads, nothing too serious. Gravel roads, highways, freeways. You just like to be able to tour around the countryside. If I see a gravel road, just take it. And that's what I loved about the NC750X. It was great on the highway, great on the freeway, but whenever I saw a gravel road, it just take the turn and go. That's quite nice through this bend here, handling very nicely. Yeah, very sweet. That's nice. Suspension feels really good actually. Yeah, downshifts are really quick and slick. Let's go here. Like, you gotta remember this is only 450cc's, but wow, it handles beautifully. Nice torque there too out of that bend. You can wind it on and it pulls, which is good. It's certainly an engine you need to work though. It's being 450, I've got to remember it's only 450cc's. But some engines are a pain to work and some engines are a pleasure to work, and this is this falls in the latter category. It's actually a pleasure to rev it out and have a bit of fun on it. Yeah, gearbox is really nice and slick, I like that. Now I haven't ridden the previous generation of this, the Scram 411 I think it was, so I don't have any reference in that situation, but yeah, I'm going to compare it to my NC750X. Yeah, the NC750X was 750cc, so obviously it's had a lot more grunt down low, pulling out of bends and things like that. But already, which was very rewarding to ride that way, but already this is feeling equally as rewarding to ride, but in a different way, in that you get the fun of using the gearbox, using the revs, and yeah, it's good. I'm in fifth here, just tooting along at 60 k's an hour, which is 37 miles per hour. I'm doing about 3,200 RPM in fifth, and it's not worrying at all. So we'll go up here. Yeah, I'm classing this as a fun little bike to ride already. Truck coming, we'll go. I just got to use the gearbox. Now 100 kilometres an hour, I am getting a fair buzz through the foot pegs. Handlebars fine, it's just through the foot pegs. There is a little bit through the handlebars, but it's definitely a lot more noticeable on the foot pegs. This is doing a good job of keeping the wind off my body. I don't feel any pressure on my torso, which is nice. I've got pressure on my helmet, but I'm not getting any buffeting or anything like that. It's just that's just wind pressure, which is totally fine. So that's doing a good job. That little screen is doing a very good job. Obviously, you know, if you have a larger screen, you're going to get more protection and a more comfortable ride for longer distances. But for that little bit there, sixth gear pulling up that hill, 90 k's an hour, no problems. So good torque. I didn't feel the need to drop it down a gear there. Surprised at how effective that little screen is, you know. Drop it in here. Really nice. Yep, fun bike. Definitely a fun little bike to ride. We'll get on the freeway out here to 110. Really pleased with this display. That's really nice. A TFT. I've done a really good job of that. It looks good quality too. Some of the gauges on some of the model Enfields, like the Interceptor, do look a little bit budget, but this doesn't look budget at all. Nicely balanced coming to a stop there. But it's interesting, you can feel the weight. That it does feel a little top heavy. And that's where the NC750X, with its engine that was laid down and low in the frame, really, you know, felt a lot lighter than what it was. It was about 215 kilos. It's amazing how much difference it makes where the weight is carried in the chassis of the bike. Now I'm sitting at 100 kilometres an hour, which is 60 miles an hour, and that little screen is just keeping all the pressure off my torso, so which is making it quite comfortable. The seat's pretty comfortable too, actually. Up to 110, about 70 miles an hour. Yeah, plenty of pull for a 450. It was pretty effortless getting past that car. I don't know how much you can hear of me. There's a bit of wind noise in the helmet, but those mirrors are buzzing. So that was a 110 kilometre section of the freeway, and yeah, it's quite tolerable. I am noticing the way I'm sitting on the seat, there is a little bump in the pillion seat that's pressing into the base of my spine. It's not uncomfortable, it's just noticeable that there's a little the shape of the seat's rounded on the front, I think, and it's just pressing into the base of my spine. Brakes are good. Like, nothing standing out as being, you know, iffy, or, you know, everything just feels right. Everything just feels right. Now, the engine vibrations, or the vibrations through the foot pegs and that, I do wonder if, you know, this is a brand new engine, and once it all settles down, everything might smooth out. I don't know. Someone who's had this bike long term is the only person that could answer that question as to how that goes. I know with my Chief, when I first got it, everything was stiff, and I did notice the vibrations more, you know, from the engine while I was running it in. But after a few thousand kilometres, everything smoothed out. I do wonder if that's going to be the case with this engine as well. Now, for someone my size, 6'1", is this a bike I'd like to do a lot of miles on? No, I don't think so. But it would be a fun weekend bike just to get out, go for a bit of a ride on the highway for a bit, find some dirt tracks, and then you know, hit the dirt tracks, or the gravel roads at least. Now, this video is just a test ride video, just to basically see what this bike's all about. And you know, to give a proper review, what I'd love to do is have it for a week or two and hit the sort of gravel roads and the places I used to take my NC750X, and just see how it compared in those real world situations. I don't want to hit the dirt and gravel, I don't want to get all dirty. This is their demo bike. It's very kind of Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat to lend it to me for a test ride, so thank you very much, guys. Or Royal Enfield Ballarat. Don't watch these people. Thank you. If Royal Enfield Australia had one of these as a long-term demo for the press, if they want to hit me up and let me have it for a week, I'd love to really test it out. And that, I think that says something right there, that, you know, I don't want to sort of, I'm not keen to get off and never see the bike again. I think it's a really good bike for the price category, and for this category in general. Suspensions is good. The suspension's firm, but it's not jarring, it's not harsh, and it's soaking up those bigger bumps no problems at all. Like, it has a feel that it's going to take a long way before this would bottom out. $80 to $100. Now, I did speak to a gentleman who owns this exact bike, the Himalayan 450, as well as a 1250 GS. So it was really good to get his perspective on the bike, and he loves it. He loves his Himalayan, and that's pretty cool. Like, pretty amazing when you consider it's got a GS. So he'd be mentally comparing that bike to his GS. It's definitely very capable on the highway, but more fun on the back roads. Very agile. Supposed to be finer today, but I'm trying to beat the rain. The bike feels very at home on these back country roads. Through this twisty, windy stuff, it's really nice. Suspension's working very nicely, and the brakes do a great job of pulling you up pretty quickly and effortlessly. Stability on the highway is really nice. It's very stable. You know, it's breezy today, but the bike's rock solid. Very comfortable. No issues at all. It's not flighty. It just sits there, and yeah, it's great. Definitely a competent highway cruiser. And certainly enough power to do what you need to do on the highway, passing cars and things like that. Doesn't feel like it's really struggling or working hard. Very competent motorcycle. Now, yeah, I have to remind myself it's 450 cc's. It's not, I'm used to an 1800 cc motorcycle. So there's a huge difference, but it's still rewarding to ride. I'm not feeling like this is anemic, you know, it's not... So, okay, to give you an example, the classic 350, you know, I really had to work that bike and coax the bike to get it up to speed. Where this is, yeah, you still have to work it, but it does it no problems at all. And I really like the handling. It handles really nicely. For me, the pegs are in a nice position. My legs are comfortable. It's comfortable reach to the bars. I'm not sort of feel like I'm stretched out or reaching or anything like that. It just feels really good. Everything feels like it's in the right place. Pity this car was in front of me. I was going to have a bit of fun through these bends, but anyway, not to worry. Please turn left, please turn left. Yes. Really nice 3D sweepers. Confident, planted. Soaking up those bumps, no problems at all. Now I don't know if it's, I'm just getting used to it, but the vibrations feel like they've settled down a lot as the bike's warmed up and is probably starting to loosen up a bit. So I'm making a prediction that those vibes will settle down as the bike is run in and, you know, things smooth out. Like now the mirrors are looking pretty smooth, whereas before they were vibrating or buzzing. We've got the gear position indicator right in the centre there, speed, tacho, and the fuel gauge around here. Everything that I need is all there, easily to read, and really well laid out. And it's attractive too. Looks good. I would like to see that in night mode actually. I wonder if you can do that, like reverse, so white on black would be cool. I'm sure that you can do that. I just like white on black. Now around town, yes, this bike's a doddle. And like just going around there, changing direction is very easy. And that's where you can really feel that it is lightweight. So it's a bit of a, yeah, it's interesting. At times it feels top heavy, and then in a situation like that where I had to change direction at low speed, no problems, it just changed without even thinking about it, changed direction. Just drop it in there, beautiful. Yeah, okay, so the way it's carrying its weight is really not an issue. It's you notice it when you first get on it, but the longer I'm on the bike, I'm used to it now, and you know it's it's changed its direction nice and quickly and easily. Like I see this being on a dirt road or a gravel road, and you're trying to miss potholes and things like that, wouldn't be a problem at all. Riding position in town is very comfortable. I think they've really got this riding position sorted actually. Seat's still fairly comfortable. I think, you know, if you're sitting on it for hours on a freeway, then yes, I'd probably start to pinch a bit, but as it is right here and now, and the riding I've just been doing, it's been fine. So I'm going to give the Himalayan 450 a recommend that you, if you're looking for this sort of bike, that you definitely check it out. It's well worth checking out. I do feel like I'm sitting tall, but I'm used to sitting, riding my cruiser, where you sit fairly low, which is a bonus if you're in traffic and you want to sit up and see above the cars, see a fair way ahead. Then this riding position, or if you're out on a dirt track and you want a good look ahead, this is the riding position to be in. And again, very impressed with the performance of that little screen for what it is. Yep, the Himalayan 450 gets a big thumbs up from me. And the longer I spend on it, the easier it is, more fun it is to ride. So thank you Royal Enfield Ballarat, which is also Indian Motorcycle Ballarat, for the test ride. Yeah, I think it's a good bike. Very easy to manage. Now let's get some nice pics of it. If you've made it this far, thank you for joining me for the ride. And next I'm going to be test riding the Royal Enfield shotgun. And then I'm going to be test riding, maybe not today, a Yamaha XSR 900, second-hand one that they've got for sale. There it is, beside my Champion over there. Royal Enfield Himalayan 450.
How are you, Paul?
Good, Mark. How's yourself?
Good. What'd you think?
Yeah, we're really good.
They're not bad, are they?
Yeah, great little bike.
Be back in a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Yep.
You taking the shotgun out?